What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Crow Salvation, the third installment into the Crow franchise. This movie is directed by Balat Noari. If I said his name wrong, I am sorry. Alright, The Crow Salvation follows this character named Alex Corvus, played by Eric Mabius, who is electrocuted on death row for the murder of his girlfriend. But as this film progresses, we find out that not only his death, but his girlfriend's death are part of this one big, large conspiracy. Okay, that's the overall plot. How do I feel about The Crow Salvation? I think The Crow Salvation is actually not that bad. I like this movie better than City of Angels. I mean, it's nowhere near the excellence of that first movie, but Salvation as a movie after City of Angels, I think it's actually okay as its own self-contained story. Now, it's not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I do got some issues with Salvation here and there, but overall, I think this is a good effort. So I'm going to express my pros and my cons. Pros. I think the cast in this movie, for the most part, is actually really solid. I think Eric Mabius as Alex Corvus, the new Crow, he's not too bad in the lead role. He has some spots here and there where his acting could be a little bit flat, or he can just be really over acting in a lot of areas. But in a lot of certain scenes, he's actually quite good and quite solid, and I think he handles the role again fairly well. There are a couple of things. There are a couple of character relationships that I really liked in this movie. There's one that I thought the movie could have really expanded upon, but didn't really do much with it. I like the relationship that he develops with Lauren's sister, played by Kirsten Dunst, and pretty much Kirsten Dunst pretty much believes full-fledged that Alex is the killer of her sister, but when Alex reveals that it's not, that's not exact, that it's all false, I like how they form a bond in a way. They're bonded by the death by Lauren, and that pretty much makes them friends and they have a kinship. So I like how that was handled. There's another relationship that I like that Alex has with his lawyer, which is one of the big problems I got with this movie. That I would have liked to have seen more of this lawyer character. I would have liked to have seen this lawyer character actually do investigative work, trying to frame Alex, trying to clear Alex's name after he's put to death. I think the lawyer barely gets any screen time, and the relationship between Alex and this lawyer, it's presented to us as them being very close, almost like friends, but the movie didn't really do enough to really expand upon that, and I would like to see more of Alex and the lawyer working together once Alex comes back as the Crow. I think that would have been much more interesting to. I think that would have made for a much more interesting subplot to this movie. But that's something that I didn't really like, that they didn't really fully expand upon something like that. I think that could have been done really well. The villains in this movie are all corrupted cops, and acting-wise, I think everyone does a good job. This movie has Walton Goggins and Dale Metcalf, if you're familiar with Pet Sematary. And acting-wise, they all do well. Character-wise, they're just one-dimensional dirtbags. There's nothing really to them. They don't really stand out like a Fun Boy or a Top Dollar or a Grange or a T-Bird or a Spaz or Spaz or something like that. But it is what it is. You know, they're just corrupted cops. It's nothing really. It's paint by numbers. And they're all involved with the murder of Lauren because, as it's revealed to us, Lauren's father was in dirty dealings, and she goes to a nightclub trying to do investigative work. She sees these cops kill a man, and in turn, the cops kill her in order to cover their own asses in a way. And again, these cops are just paint by numbers dirtbags. There's nothing really to them. If anything, the police captain played by Fred Ward, he's the only one who stands out because Fred Ward, I like Fred Ward as an actor, and as the villain, he's not bad. He's okay. He's definitely better than Jedediah Earl from City of Angels. I think Fred Ward gives the police captain some charisma to him. I especially like his dry, sarcastic sense of humor, particularly at the end where he comes face to face with Alex, and he's just like, "Would you like water or a transfusion?" Then he's like, "With what? Are you gonna bleed on my carpet?" I think Fred Ward gives him a snarky, sarcastic, smart-ass sense of humor, and I like it a lot. It works for me. Fred Ward as the villain, he's not bad. He's actually very entertaining. The action scenes in this movie, they're all well done. This movie is well directed. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing that's going to make you. The visual in this movie don't really stand out. Hell, there are a lot of shots that are reused from the first movie. Talk about laziness. But And the scenes that are actually to this movie, they're okay. The cinematography is solid. It's decent. It's nothing spectacular, but it's nothing horrible. Some of the special effects in this movie, the practical effects are good. There's certain spots of CGI, they look really, really dated. This movie came out in 2000 and they look bad. I mean, there are certain special effects that stand the test of time, but you can tell this is a low budget movie because these effects do not. It's like watching a PS1 game, not PS2, PS1. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of special effects, it's up and down. They can go either way. In some cases, it's good. Other cases, it's just bleh. So yeah, overall, those are just my thoughts on The Crow's Salvation. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. I like it better than Crow's City of Angels. I think it's a better made movie. I think it's a better story overall, and I think the cast in this movie is light years better than the cast from Crow's City of Angels. This movie has problems onto itself, but it also has a lot of good things going for it too. And yeah, I can watch this over City of Angels any day of the week. I think Salvation is a much stronger effort and a much stronger movie when compared to it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Salvation. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.